I'm very grateful from your teaching. I'm very grateful for your teachings about the energetic part of the shift. I've been going through it for about 3 years now, and it's very difficult to find info about it. I have 2 questions if you have the time. The first one is about how to stay with the energy instead of avoiding it. It is very obvious in the beginning after the shift, but now I notice that whenever I go into a sensation and ask questions about it, I end up being caught up in a story about the sensation. My problem is that I feel like I have this huge block of congested energy from the root chakra to the 3rd eye chakra, and there's really strong movement of avoidance in the body, which is extremely uncomfortable. Do you have any advice? Yeah, so when you have the energetic awakening, when you have these energetic shifts, what can happen is it can highlight like this attachment to the chakra system. So in the chakra system, like that's where predominantly people feel like they are, where they feel like they're either a thought inside the head or the feeling inside their body, and they feel like they're this energy that is in relationship with life. And there's a lot of energy that's been put there, and a lot of time thinking about yourself. And then when you have the energetic shift, something shifts from that, and it can release quite a lot of energy in these chakras and highlight the pain. Almost like when you hit your thumb with a hammer, if you put your attention on something else, it doesn't hurt so much, but when you put your attention on the thumb, it really begins to hurt. So it becomes more painful in a way, the chakra system. So there's 2 different reasons for that. Firstly, it's because of this energy that's been holding you inside here and believing that's who you are. And when that's released, or when that begins to be released, it can become really painful, this sense of self, of where you feel yourself to be, which tends to be in that area, from here down to your root chakra, but mostly here. So it can be very painful. The next is that maybe in your life, your karma has been that you've told yourself very negative stories about yourself, and you've had a strong identity with that. And so what it means is your chakras have been quite out of line, and maybe there's been lots of seeking that's involved in it. And as you are beginning to wake up, that will begin to heal and change and shift. So for example, you know, in your solar plexus area, maybe you've been told your whole life, or you believe that you're a failure. So often when you're interacting with people or situations, you tell yourself a failure, and so it makes that area sore. And then in your heart, you might tell yourself you're not good enough. And when you interact with people, not consciously, but it makes that area sore. And the same with the throat. You haven't got a voice, you can't speak out, and it makes it sore, and etc. for all the chakras. And then before you've been having these awakenings, what you'll have always done is try to seek to be a better version of yourself, to be worthy, to be good enough, to get possessions or to do things that made you more worthy and made you lovable. And so that seeking energies may be dissipating, so you're not getting so much validation from the outside world, or you're not caring so much about the validation from the outside world. So that's dissipating. And then what's left is that uncomfortable feeling coming up in the chakras. And it really just is giving it space and giving it time and exploring it. And there's nothing wrong with the stories coming up. Get to know the stories, see them for what they are, cry about them, release the energy. Like when we get into non-duality, we begin to think that we got to keep our attention away from stories and keep putting it in consciousness. But the stories become embedded in your body, and you've got to help them release from your body. It's not just about a mind thing, moving yourself to consciousness away from the mind story. It's also releasing the energy of the stories out of your body. Like your story of you is held in the body. And the way you do that is you get to know the chakra system. You begin to put your attention more into the body. You begin to listen to what it says when it interacts with relatives or people you know, or with work. And you give it space, you listen to it. You can also do chakra meditations. You can do massage, like energetic releases to help release them. But just know that's not getting you to enlightenment. That's an effect of waking up, that your system is becoming more imbalanced. But who is it that will wake up? So no, there is no solid you there. There is responses coming out of the body and habits and conditions coming out of the body. So I don't know if that helps at all. If you have any more questions, then please ask and I will go back to it and look at it in more detail.